Joined today by winner high school head football coach Dan Aaker, coming off a homecoming victory over Valentine. Your thoughts on that game, Coach, please?
I thought we played really well. Was really happy with our week of preparation. Really happy with how we balanced homecoming and practice. And right from the get-go, it was the focus, the intensity was there. I thought we played from top to bottom. And usually when we get back and look at film, we always tell them that they, obviously you never play as good as you thought you did, and you never play as bad depending on there. But really, we were looking at almost kind of nitpicky things of things that we could get better with. So we played really well, and extremely happy with that. We got momentum right away. Cameron Kyle had 3 long runs, kind of set the tone, and then defensively really shut down what they were trying to do. And they're not a bad football team. And then, as I said last week, going into it, they were playing really well. But defensively, we were able to stop what they wanted to do. And quite honestly, it really just came down the line of scrimmage. I thought our guys up front played extremely well and really dominated that line of scrimmage. And we kind of challenged them throughout the week, let them know that this is the best line we'd seen so far, one of the biggest line we've seen so far, and how you're going to handle that challenge. And I thought they did a good job. We got 4 turnovers, converted on almost those. When they were punted again, we got guys in that could some playing time. And our JV finished a game for us again. So a lot of positives. I like the step forward we took, and now the focus obviously turns into the next week, and we stay at that elevation. We really reminded them this week that we played maybe our best game last year against Valentine. And did we get any better? Did we maintain or whatever? So we really focus on, what we've been saying all year is we got to get better, and we can only do that in practice. So, but overall, yeah, I thought we played a terrific game.
One of the things I know Marty and I talk about a lot is just the tremendous team speed. I know you don't like to get into comparison games, but certainly one of the faster overall defensive groups you've had, correct?
Yeah, a lot of that ties in. We at all positions. It's always nice to have, and we've had some in the past, some DTs that can make sideline to sideline, and we have 3 this year. And then you add, pretty athletic and physical ends, and then linebackers that are all 180 plus 185 and can run. And then we get speed in the secondary. So from top to bottom, pretty good speed that gets to the ball, and the big key is to make sure that everybody gets the ball, and we've been doing a pretty good job of that, swarming to the ball, and that's a nice advantage to have. But yeah, I would agree with you. From top to bottom, sideline to sideline, our guys can move, and that's a big asset.
Coach, you face Chamberlain this week, off to a solid start. Thoughts on your game for this week?
Yeah, Chamberlain 4-0. Obviously, they're doing something right. Just looking at that film, the big focus defensively is Parker Evans. He's a good football player, and I would say 90% of what they do goes through him, if not closer to 100%. They're in a spread offense, and they will option with him out of the spread, and he throws. And he's a solid quarterback when he has time, and runs the option well. Probably a better threat when he keeps it. So we're going to get to know him quite a bit. I mean, that's what we talked about defensively. We've got to get to him in every set, every situation, and he's got to know that we're getting to him. And so option, we're going to make sure DNs are going to be on him all night, whether it's pass rush or any of their run plays. That's the main focus. They got to stay at home and play their position. Defensively, we need to get some pressure on him because he's good enough. If you give him time, he'll find open guys. We're kind of defensively changing a few things, and not a big thing, but it's more than the fact of trying to get some pressure on him. When they're in motion, we're turning guys loose automatically, and I think that's a good concept that I think that'll work for us. And so the key defensively is without question Parker Evans, and we got to control him. And if we do that, I think we'll be in good shape. Offensively, I think offensive line is going to be. I think they're going to have a hard time handling us up front, and we need to execute up there. If we do, I think we'll be fine. But it sets up for a nice game. It's the first time we've seen somebody with a undefeated record, 4-0, power points on the line, a lot of things that give us, can help us out in the big picture if we take care of business. A rival, school, we've had kind of, we've a lot more success football than in other sports, but they're a rival in everything else that we do. So we need to be ready for the road trip to go up there and be ready to play a 4-0 team. And probably more importantly is just what I mentioned earlier is where we're going to go from playing really well against Valentine. Can we back that up back-to-back weeks? Can we take a step forward? Can we play clean? Can we be focused? And so that's ties into everything too.
Progression of your younger guys, Coach. Do you feel like your guys number 14 through 17 have made that progression that you were hoping so far at this point?
I think a couple have. Ty Bolden and Levi McClanahan stick out. Riley Calhoun, those three probably stick out. Of guys that I think we can fit into if needed. Obviously, they're getting some reps now, but maybe even more in the rotation in games where we need to start playing 3-4 quarters, which we haven't really had to do, or if we have an injury or so forth. We mix them in practice quite a bit and trying to get them the reps in case they're ready. Having Chet back helps as well because we've been getting him in the last couple of games and a guy that should be able to just throw in there when we need to. So we've seen some of that progression. I guess the positive is along with their JV games, they've been getting a pretty good amount of playing time at the varsity level, which only helps when going against varsity opponents. So yeah, I talked about that earlier. The gap between 1 and 2 was pretty wide. We're seeing some of that close, and as coaches feel pretty confident in some of the guys, and I think the players are getting more confident as they come along too. And if you can be at least 1, possibly 2 deep at most of your positions, that's a pretty good feeling. And I can honestly say that right now with no injuries, that's where we're at.
Last question. Playoffs right around the corner. Season is halfway done as of last week. You feel good about where you're at?
Yeah. I think that probably feel better after the Valentine game. I mean, it's not like they played bad the first 3 games, but I just like the crispness and the intensity that we played with Friday. We played well, but there was just another edge to them Friday night, and that's the edge we got to keep. So really like that. We need to continue. It's crazy that it's week 4 and it's regular season's halfway over. I mean, it feels like week 1, it gets faster every year, it seems like, but this year's really went fast. So really talked to them about that after the game too, and hey, we're halfway done. Where do we want to be? What do we want to accomplish? We did some nice things so far, but where are we going to go? But you can always get better, and we have to get better. It's a process, and I think we did that. We're slowly adding a few more things offensively. We haven't had to really use any of them yet, but we're getting the chances to do that. I think after this week we do what we need to do against Chamberlain. We'll have a chance to expand that a little more in our bye week and really kind of focus for that late season push of the last 3 weeks, which really takes place in 2.5 weeks, the last 3 games. So
appreciate your time. Good luck this week.
Thanks, Bob.